I shall make it so. It shall open to me. It's done. I shall make it so.
Looks like trouble.
Grave.
Let's go!
Yes.
Lava will beyond sick.
I got it.
I can get it to spill its secrets. There we are. As you like.
All right, but I'm keeping all done.
I shall make it.
You might find this interesting.
This here must be the brig.
Could be a fight.
Grave.
Lava will
That
beyond
would be a no.
sick.
I reap what I sow.
Got to try something else.
No one noticed that, right?
On it. Sure. Huh?
As you like.
Hello, Swabby. You ain't one of Benny's. What are you doing here? Knew we could count on our captain. Always looking out for us, he is. Let us free, and we and our captain will owe you a favor. So, what do you say? Benny's the top of the top. Second only to Aldi's in these parts. He's unbeatable, some say. Too much of a brute for his own good, I think. Lamond knew him back in the Deerwooden Navy, before he grew into his britches, and that chafes Benwith. One night, our captain breaks a bottle against Benwith's first mate. Now we are rotting in here, while Lamond works the forge like peeling potatoes. Let us out, and we make it past the guards. Keep it quiet and follow me, mates.
Trouble.
Got it.
Beyond sick.
Will do.
As you like.
Looks like trouble. Looks like trouble.
That's it.
Not happening.
It shall open to me. Finished. I shall make it.
Watch it.
That would be enough.
Beyond sick. Lava beyond sick.
On it.
As you
There's no Arvin.
Do I hear a mouse scritching scratch? Who are you? And what are you doing here? Only Benwith's crew has access to my kitchens. Not that I care, really. Speak up so I can hear you. You won't find him in the kitchens, ever. He's high and mighty, gold bricking in Captain Aldi's quarters now. These stairs go back to the court. It's the tower adjacent to this one that leads to Aldi's quarters. Think I want to tattle on you? What do I care if you're looking to hang yourself? Sneak around enough where you ain't supposed to, Benwith will catch you. Carve you into chunks for my stew.
I shall make it so.
Hey, watch out.
Let's go.
Hey! That was...
Sure.
As you...
Yeah? Right.
Be that you? Still alive and kicking, I see. You've done right by me, freeing my crew. So I'll divvy up what I promised. Door's open, but there's something you ought to consider before you go. Sure, you could traipse right up there into Aldi's quarters to gut Benwith, but he'll be heavily guarded. Meanwhile, me and my crew will be stealing Ben's ship, the Drake. And in doing it, we're gonna bait him into storming outside, all alone. No better way for it. Benny docks the Drake in a hidden berth beneath the fort. Kill the guards there for us. That's why I want your help. After you've cleared the docks, take the western tower to the fort's ramparts and sound the boating bell. 3 rings. Me and my mates will sail out with the Drake. 3 bell tolls alerts the fort to a ship leaving the private docks. With Aldi's gone to sea, that leaves just Ben's Drake docked. Ben's sure to storm the ramparts in a rage, right in time to watch his pride be stolen. Knew I could count on you. I can't wait until Ben gets his. Me and my crew will be taking the Drake now then. Head on to the western ramparts and sound the signal. It's 3 loud rings from the boating bell. That alerts the fort to a ship leaving the private docks. With Aldi's gone to sea, that just leaves Ben's Drake at berth. If he hears it leaving, he'll race to the western ramparts in a panic to see what's going on. There's stairs that lead up from the docks to the ramparts. Take them fast after the docks are cleared if you're to sound the signal in time. Aye, under the dungeons, there's a cave with a wharf. The quickest route's just ahead, beyond that door. Entrance to the docks is nearest the kitchens. Some of Benny's crew are sure to be guarding the Drake, so you need to gut them if I'm to steal his ship.
Before you sound that thing, let me cover my ears.
I shall make it so.
Who's rung the bell and why? It better not be. What in the blackest hell? Stop! Stop! That's my ultra-fucking ship! Plague and perish those goddamn swivers. I'll blast them from the sea. Do I know you? Well, you wouldn't be the first I've pissed off and forgotten. Ah, right. You're that sloop captain what got caught in the storms. I take it you did a number on my crew. Figures. I should have stayed to kill you myself. Looks like I'll have to remedy that now. What you hope to accomplish coming around here? You can fight me if you like, but you won't be leaving this fort alive. What, are you frothing mad? Ha! Rankled you, did I? We'll be fighting to the death now.
Enemies ahead.
As you like.
Well, as long as I
We
don't
got
get
trouble,
caught.
folks.
Yes?
All right, but I'm keeping what's in there. All done.
Yes? Certainly.
Ready to brawl?
Grave.
Glory be to God!
Take
Very well. Indeed.
On it.
I can get it dispelled. There we are. I shall. So. Trouble. Trouble.
Beyond sick. Lava beyond sick.
Hey, we had some good times.
Mow it. See, on us.
I've got it.
Uh-huh. That's unusual.
As you. I shall make it so.
We got trouble, folks. Happy you over. All things must come to an end. Even me. Yeah?
go!
Happy to oblige.
As you like.
I hear you. Happy to oblige. Sure thing.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000,000 bells ringing all at once. You are alone, and then you are not. an indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Bareth, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Bareth settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
The Pallid Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the Beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Bareth dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodica strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Bareth? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodica, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodica steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
She casts a sly look at the Pallid Knight from the corners of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely.
Wodica throws her head back and laughs. The sound is a dry, rasping bark.
Andra could do with a new act. Her current one has grown rather stale.
They see to their own affairs. You will speak to them in time, should you have the need.
The figure beside the aspect of Bareth flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword. Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do-nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
Magran looks at you as one might a wayward gob of spit on one's shoe.
It is no business of yours what the gods decide.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the Beyond? He should be welcomed.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide. Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys's return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, When he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wedeka suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who wiped dear desperate Alice's mind. You could have let my followers help her kill the man who tormented her. But you did not. Curious.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
Your point is well made, little Watcher. If self-evident, Aethys has not been known to possess a vindictive nature. Indeed, he has occasionally been magnanimous to a fault. However, if we push him to the brink of reason, there is no telling what he may do. He is, as ever, unpredictable.
Something akin to fondness creeps into her voice. The Pallid Knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Mogren grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Mogren stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
The Pallid Knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Mogren's direction.
Mogren speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Wodika waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys, other than decisive, final action.
Your opinion is unasked for and unnecessary, but noted nonetheless.
Though her tone is impassive, the banked fury in her eyes says well enough what she thinks of your interruptions.
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet, you are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin, alone.
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of all the places we can sail to, all the sights we could see. This is nothing like being stuck on a farm, or cloistered in the back of a temple. Tell me what's on your mind. They're there in my head when I sleep. And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Happens when I take in a particularly volatile soul. Will we? Ought we? I just don't know. I trust you, Watcher. I swear I do. I worry sometimes about what's gonna happen to me. But, well, it's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my God, even if it kills me. I'm glad we talked.
I wish you'd maintained my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity. After we parted, I set out to destroy the Leaden Key. It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret. Trying to undo them. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make, or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations. Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater river place. Aye, right home like it was. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. That's where it gets complicated. The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
Wicked old bunbag, 'tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident. The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little. Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week. I had to do something, didn't I? I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. I suppose so. I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about. Ah, lad. I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
Hey, this brings back some memories, huh? The air's different. Especially compared to Gilded Vale, where there's more livestock than shovels. Sounds different, too. You wake up to all those bird calls, it really does sound like they're making music. If the birds woke you in Gilded Vale, it was usually a couple crows making the most horrible mating noises you ever heard. Strange thing is, I still get this feeling in me, like I wish I was home. I like that feeling, knowing we'd stop Theos. They were part of something big. That was something I never felt before. Not even at war. Guess I went looking for it again. Not that I wanted to tangle with gods, but something smaller. Something I thought I could manage. I looked all around the Deerwood, but that place has too many ghosts for me. Things I'd just as soon forget. Ended up moving to Adir and tracking down my parents. They went there as refugees after the war ended. In part, I guess. Adir, they still got some bad blood with Deerwood. Goes back to the Revolution. Some Adirans like to give Deerwoodans a hard time they get the chance. With my folks, a group came along and tried to take their land. Made a phony claim to it. I sat down with them and we had a friendly negotiation. One fella, I don't think he'll ever be able to look to his right again. But we came to an understanding. My folks, they didn't see me the same after that. I think they'd have rather given up the land than have it come to violence. And I don't know if that was something we could have avoided, or if it was the cost of trying to fix things. If you like. I want the destruction to stop. I want him to finish what he's doing and then go in peace. Only I don't see it playing out that way. If you like.
She means well. I can see that. And she's spirited, and if I was still young and didn't know the things I know, it'd be different. But anybody got that much faith in any god, let alone Aethys? I don't know how to talk to someone like that. Not these days. I get why she's like that. And I was there once, long time back. But it's 'cause of that I can't see a way to respect it. I'm no good at hiding it from her either. I don't see this getting better. Doesn't seem like she's any different than what she shows. Same thing, really. That's just her trying to find a way to worship Aethys that makes sense to her. I guess that sounds familiar now that you mention it.
Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for? Ain't much there to be told, Cap. Ah, shit. You ain't wrong on that. When I were a wee swabby, fresh to the sea, it were Romaro that showed me the ropes and rigging. More than that, he kept his weather eye open for me. The sea be a right poxy ore on occasion, and life aboard the Sorcerer, that and more. Malnash, our ship hunter, she were all wet and bothered for doing me harm, and Romaro. He protected me. Mentored me too, learned me letters and navigation, handed down the Principe traditions. In time, we became close as kin or closer. And the Sorcerer, my family. Right, fantastic fucking question, Cap. Word out with mutiny. But I'll be putting about as much stock in that as a dockside doxy for manners. Well, no, I don't normally be singing no praises of veracity, Cap. But in the matter of Romaro, I'll be hunting the truth. Fair. He be of old Valian stock. A good man and righteous. Not honest, of course, but honourable. Were our shipboard sawbones, more than half handy at it. More than one swabby behind the old salter to furl from the wheel. Why, Cap? You be feeling a bit of the old envy? Nay, we never shared a bunk. Not that I'd have kicked him out of a hammock, but, like I said, we be family. He never took advantage. Well, only knows, Cap. She treated me like my mere presence gave offence. Aye, do right by it, and I won't be regretting it. I've no use for regrets, Cap. Sink in sorrow for every innocent that dies in your stead, and you'll never be sailing forward. Ask away, Cap. Formerly the Principe San Petrena. The princes, without a home, aye. They came from Grand Valia ages ago. Now they be the scourge of the Deadfire. More than that, ain't for the likes of me to say. Ask away, Cap. Raiding seafaring vessels mostly. Seasoned ships cargo. Ships themselves if they be worth anything. If there be passengers of high birth, we be taking them for ransom too. Ain't squeamish about slaying, but be avoiding it when we can. Get yourself known for killing folk. They get more likely to fight you when you come for the gold. Ask away, Cap. Aye, that I do, Cap. What not? Smell of the sea, creak of the rigging, blast of the cannons, rush aboard and a right piece of prey. A mug of spice rum in my hands and a bawdy song on my lips. A lad or lass in every port and another in my hammock. Be a pirate's life for me. Ask away, Cap. Endless, Cap. We ain't the flog-stroking Rowetide Navy. Twixt the seaworthy vessel and passable crew, you've managed yourself the hardest part already. Now you just need to be setting yourself to piracy, after you be talking it over with the Consuelo. No, we ain't exactly a bunch known for housing hard-ons for hard rules. Ask away, Cap. Aye, aye, Cap.
Agrasima, Casita, for taking me on.
Not happening.
Oh, geez.
Take him down.
Lavaru beyond seek. Lavaru beyond seek.
I did.
Damn
Made
me
me
for a
want to
butter
poke
slice
out
of
my
hardtack.
eyes.
It's you, ain't it? Wouldn't expect you to recognise me. Even back home, I covered a lot of ground before taking support here. The Watcher, captain of a mighty ship, god chaser and fiend slayer. Must be expensive sustaining a reputation like that, eh? I'll keep it quick, see? If your little dinghy has got some chase in it, I've got a list of captains with a black mark to their name whose ships need a quick scuttling. And I'm in the market for a scuttler. You read me like a book, you do. Then let's talk business, eh? You'll be looking to scuttle Cornu first, one of Rauatai's finest, eh? I don't ask my client what he did or what scale his death balance is. Safer to keep questions in the hold. Course you will. Knows a good opportunity when you seize it. Cornu helms a Voyager early muster in the waters north of Nekataka and south of Sayuka. Avon? No one's barking at your heels for results, Scuttler. The black mark finds everyone in their time. If you don't catch them first, I wager Andra will simply widen her jaws when she's good and hungry. Keen as I am to accept your offer, you've got your work cut out for you. Scuttle your current target before moving on to another, eh? Better if you don't ask. 'Cause the Deadfire's in a big, ugly power play, it is. And not everyone gets quartered for being in the game. One captain, she's a piece, standing 20 rounds distant from the real players. Another, he's a means to some unknowable end. Who's to say why they both need to die? And the type of clients he pays for the red worker scuttling? They don't blow the gaff to the elf.
Ain't no cruel eye of me. What good's a pirate who can't see? Forget navigating by the stars or shooting a pistol, I can't even swing a sword accurately now. Have a pity and toss me a pyre, will you? Is this what my life boils down to? A moment of entertainment for others? I was a bosun not so long ago, and a damn good one at that. But I took a shot to the face, see? Didn't lose much skin, but the flash burned out me eyesight. I can't make out so much as a blurry shape more than a foot away. Makes me right useless on a crew now, don't it? No one will have me for work. Andra's blessings to you for sharing, sailor. I thank you for your kindness and your endless pockets. The charity's much appreciated. I thank you for your kindness and...
As you like.
Fair day, traveler. Anything I can do for you, just say the word. Lady Adventurer at your humble service. I was born in a deer and raised in the field, and there's nary a crevice of this archipelago I haven't seen. The living lands most off, but the Deadfire as well of late. And my goodness, if you think the Deadfire's wild, I must say, it's no more thrilling than a Lady of Luxury's afternoon luncheon, in comparison to the glorious madness of the living lands. Being a cipher's come in quite handy, I'll tell you that. Oh, dear me, yes. Can't seem to avoid it. Not a lick of it's my fault, of course. It's the university. Always sending me to the most dangerous corners of Aora, the skimps. If I didn't know better, I might say they were trying to kill me. There's not other way to rid themselves of a tenured professor, after all. Oh, aye. Some you wouldn't right believe. Like the time I lost part of my ear here, see? Lost an entire research team along with the ear. Rather a long day, that was. My colleagues have implied I might be cursed, but I can't say I much agree. It's just the nature of the work, you understand. I mean, goodness. If you want a lady to find you the rarest plants, you gotta send her to the most remote places. On my last expedition, my colleague Inez got herself lost looking for what was essentially a big prickly weed. No medicinal use at all. I found her, though, mostly intact even. A blessing from the living lands, I call it, aye. But I do go on, don't I? With pleasure. Teaching is my specialty, after all. I'm gonna pack your brain with so much knowledge, you're gonna have a headache for a week. All I need from you is 3,000 copper. Excellent. Let's get down to business, shall we?
A cozy traveler. Care to hear a tale? Well, I was born to a family of merchants on the Pearl Coast. I was a restless boy, and my feet took me to the Valen Republics when I came of age. I learned of the power of geography and language at my father's knee, and those skills proved useful in the Republics. I had many successful years as a merchant, and then I made a mistake. I joined up with a company based in Girara that traded in beautiful weavings. But they were ill-gotten gains, forcibly produced by a weaver the company kidnapped named Bonicetta. I didn't learn the truth until it was too late. And when our crime was uncovered, I was exiled from the Republics. Indeed, but I should have asked better questions of my employers. And now I'm here, kicking my heels in the Deadfire, where no one knows my name and with few prospects before me. I would like to make amends to Bonicetta personally, but it seems a distant possibility. Ah, well, I learned my lesson. I won't be played for a fool again. Ah, it is good to blend in. All the better to observe the business of those around you, yes? Hark, you listen to my tale. I suppose I can do that for you for 3,000 copper? Well done. You nearly forgot something.
If you're enjoying my performance, tips are welcome but not required. Thank you, loyal patron. Oh, thank you, patron. I'll be debt-free in no time. Oh, thank you, patron. I'll be debt-free in no time. I was playing dice and gambled on a sure thing. It turned out not to be such a sure thing, and now Harker owns my arse until I can pay off the debt. Of course, I started off owing him 250, and even though I've paid that twice, now I'm in the hole for 700. The interest rate, this uniform, my food and drinks, they all got added onto my tab at the end of the day. I work for a handful of pyres per day. How could I find enjoyment in that?
Hello. May I help you? Need anything? I'm not sure what there is to tell. I'm a man of adventure, mostly. A few. More than I could share in a night, to be sure. There is one that's close to my heart. It led me to my love. I was on an expedition into the backwoods of Seras when I came across an abandoned town. To my great surprise, I found a tremendous hoard of books in the town priest's cottage. The Serans are conservative folk, more so even than the Adirans. They don't have much use for reading that doesn't come from one of the holy texts of the Church of Aethys. And what a selection of books it was. Every subject represented, even some questionable ones. I couldn't help but help myself to them. I took as many as I could carry, and I can carry quite a bit. Read them all cover to cover and learned a lot too. I tired soon of wandering, so I settled in a small town in the Deerwood and became a tutor for a noble family. Fell in love with the governess, naturally, and I stayed. For a while. Well, I felt a stirring in my bones one day. I can't explain it. I just woke up, caught sight of the horizon, and had to go. I left my lady wife right there in our marital bed. I don't know what's waiting for me out here in the Deadfire, but I have hope this will be my biggest adventure yet. Well, you listened to my long tale. I suppose you are owed a trick or two. For the low price of 3,000 copper. Much obliged.
Kill 'em, wait an hour, then pull any gold teeth. Easy as pie.
You're an idiot. Wait a minute, wait an hour. Alive, dead, it makes no difference at all.
I've pulled plenty of gold teeth. I know the right way of it.
Maybe I'll pull your teeth just to prove you wrong.
What do you know? It really does make no difference. You, out.
Is that how everyone handles disagreements around here?
I shall make it so.
Oh, God have mercy on me. Blast my God's damn soul and stupidity. Andre, save me now. My ship was attacked and boarded by pirate hunters. Didn't know if we'd be able to get away, so I swallowed down my most valuable possession, Ngati's black tear, a gemstone about the size of my fist. Of course now it ain't coming out of either end. Been trying all manner of foul concoctions to no effect on account of my stomach being too strong. Years of sailing the storm-racked seas will do that to you. Started feeling an intense pain 2 days ago. I think I might be dying. I think I ain't tried that. My stomach's all black and bruised, but a blasted gem's still stuck up me. You can take it. What I used to think was a blessed treasure has become my curse. Any price is worth getting it out of me. Rosanella's got a stand in the Radiant Court. She's been supplying me with some, experimental concoctions, tweaking them after. Tell her the last one actually came close to working.
Is that you? What's it been? 5 years?
Touch the courtesans without their permission, and I'll break your legs. Got it?
My, aren't you a handsome one? Did you need help with something, my dear? Isn't it obvious? I entertain, of course. It'll cost you 50 pyres, naturally. And don't let the wrinkles fool you. I'm still young at heart, and I've got more experience than most.
What do we have here? How can I ease your troubles, friend? I surprise and delight the clientele. My speciality's oils. Full-body rub-downs, right? Fit to leave you limber, clear-headed, and free of the stresses of hard living. I got other skills, of course, should you be looking. And all for a measly 200 pyres.
That's unusual.
Haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the King's Coffin. What can I do for you? Figured that out all on your own, did you? You're right, though. Inherited an old dhow from my da when he passed. Right piece of shit it was, too. Realised I was bound to make more coin turning her into a tavern than letting her rot in her berth. What do you want? There's always someone about who can't say no to good coin.